Welcome back to Sandwiches of History. Today is our final guest-hosted episode of the series, and our final guest host is none other than the chef and owner of Turkey and the Wolf, a counter-service-only joint in New Orleans. Food Wine and Esquire listed as one of the most important restaurants of the decade, and which Bon Appetit called Restaurant of the Year in 2017. He also owns a breakfast joint named Molly's Rise and Shine, which Food and Wine named one of the best new restaurants of 2020. His cookbook, Turkey and the Wolf, Flavored Trippin in New Orleans, is a New York Times bestseller. He recently partnered with his wonderful wife, Lauren Agudo, and Turkey and the Wolf co-chef, Philip Cenac, to open Hungry Eyes. He's competed on Iron Chef on Netflix and is the man behind that glorious sandwich of the tomato. Please welcome the one and only Mason Hereford.
Welcome to Sandwiches of History. I am guest host Mason Hereford, subbing in for my man Barry, and today we'll be making Salmagundi sandwiches from Salads and Sandwiches of 1917. Not to be confused with Salmagundi, the pickled fish pate from Jamaica. Go ahead and chop up the herring finely. We're gonna add it to a bowl with the chicken breast, also finely chopped ham, a third of a cup, 2 hard-boiled eggs, finely chopped, and some chopped onion. We're gonna blend that all together with French dressing and spread onto buttered slices of bread. All right, let's give this 1917 Salmagundi sandwich a go. I don't love it, but it's also not terrible. I'm not a huge fan of French dressing, so it kind of caught me off guard. There's some good fish flavor in there. The ham is lending a little bit of saltiness. I'm gonna say it needs a little bit of something. I'm gonna try to plus this up. All right, let's give this plussed up Salmagundi sandwich a go. Big improvement. The mayonnaise was lending me the creaminess that I was lacking. Good crunch from the lettuce, and I always prefer heat on a sandwich. So that jalapeno lent just enough heat for me on this one. I would say yes, this was a successful plus up. The Salmagundi sandwich of 1917. I'm gonna give the original sandwich a 5.5. It definitely brought some interesting characteristics to the table. It wasn't my absolute favorite, but after a plus up of a little bit of heat from jalapeno, crunch from iceberg lettuce, and some creaminess from mayonnaise, I'm gonna give the plussed up version a 7.5. I liked it. I'm gonna share the rest with my dog Darla. And yeah, all around a nice sandwich. No 10, but a solid 7.5. Thank you so much for having me on the show, Barry. This has been a treat, a real dream of mine. And shout out to my wife. She'll be watching the show tomorrow morning. Can't wait. Catch you later.